Okay, Velkhana versus Ja'ika, May 30th, 2025. They've already done a couple warm-up fights. Okay, the stance is much improved. Stance is really a lot better because you can see that nice L that we're talking about. And we're standing upright. Chase him down, double kill. Good again. Look at the stance. Again, good, nice stance. Yep. That's great. Okay, I'm very pleased with that, and I want to show you why. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about inviting somebody into your fight so that you can take an opportunity of it, and it requires a lot of back end blocking of the sword. So you have your foible, which is the super weak part. You have the mezzo, which is where most blocking occurs, and then you have this strong fort back here, right? And most of the time when we're teaching blocking, most people end up blocking about right here on their sword. So they kind of, it's more tapping than blocking, which is a useful skill. Like you can tap away a sword too, but when you are in this upright position like this, and your sword is naturally further back because of the angle of your elbow, you have to let people get closer to you, right? So if they're closer to you, you need to know how to block back here, and you did that brilliantly. Watch as Ja'ika comes in for this shot. It's so simple. It's so simple, but it's such a skill that it's so hard, but it's just so gentle and simple. Jake is going to strike straight at your stomach here in just a second. Nice prep work. He's going to spring off that back leg, come in, and strike. Pause. Okay. So look at the length of your sword here. It's made contact in the mezzo. You can see that. It's made contact right there. And watch what your hand does. It stays with it. Look at how low it is now. The great step back, right thing to do with the body. But now look at the block. If you had stayed up here in the mezzo, he would have just tipped around and in. But look at that nice, clean back end blocking. The true edge is right on the sword. You can tell. Look at the knuckles right there. So the knuckles, true edge down right on top of it. And you can tell that Ja'ika's sword is flat because you can see his quillions right there. Ja'ika's sword is flat, so it's at its weakest moment. You're on his false edge. Strong, gorgeous back end block. That's what we're talking about with these back end blocks. Now, if we're lucky, once we get into this position, this person panics, right? That's what we're hoping happens. And they go like this, and they step back, and that's what you want to have happen because then your tip just goes doink right in. I think Ja'ika manages to get out of this. Let's see. See, oh, it's perfect. That's perfect. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. You tried for it, you shot for it, didn't land. That's okay. That one did. Nice double. In the armpit. Harsh. So he's holding his sword pretty flat. Okay, good. Look, good on the body position. Oh, nice disarm. Let's watch why that happened, actually. I'm curious. Okay. Okay, there we go. So you can see Ja'ika has his hand in a pinch grip. So that's just a naturally, it gives you an extra extension, and you can tell why he's doing that, because Ja'ika is shorter than Velkhana, so he's trying to get the length because he's fighting with the short sword. So that's what he's doing. It's a good move on Ja'ika's part, but it does make him a little more vulnerable. Tap it out. Good. Okay. Strike. Look at the flex on that. Brilliant. Okay, that makes sense. So because he's in that pinch grip and you knocked it on top and pushed into the weak side of his hand, then the sword just goes flying. That makes sense. I like the return shot, though. You blocked it down, and then you tried to come around and stab him in the side of the head. footwork would have enabled that, but then you wouldn't have had the cool strong block. All right. Stabby, stabby, stabby. All right, try again. Good setup. Now we've dropped the arm again. So the arm is getting straight again. And it makes sense why you're doing that, because you want to keep him at a distance. And so you've felt like in the past that if with a longer arm, you can keep him further back. But that's not what we're trying to do. So your body, being nice and tall, needs to be guarded. So bring it out like here. Okay? That happens. Super straight arm right there. We do this when we panic. Okay, I do this too. When we panic, our arms get really straight and we're trying to create distance between us and our opponents. Makes sense. But don't do it. 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Get him up. Get your shield up. Better. Still pretty straight. Thanks for listening to me. Okay, look at the setup here. Ja'ika's one and only move in this position. He's not close enough to you to do anything, so he's going to have to step in, right? He's going to want to come up and knock your sword this way. That's what he can do. Nice interrupt. And he did try for it. He did try for that center line. Yeah, tried for it. The first block was good. Do it again. Pause. Play back. Turn it down. Okay, watch. Okay, so again, Ja'ika's only option is to step in and come up into the center line on the inside of your sword. So he's going to try it. You interrupt him, which is always a good thing to do. Never let your enemy think, if you can help it. Nice interrupt. He has to respond. Oh, we're going to watch that too, because that was pretty. Sorry, everybody. I got distracted with Ja'ika's pretty feet. Okay. Sorry, we're going to talk about Ja'ika's pretty feet. Beautiful balance, right? Nicely done. The stance is very narrow, but that's because what he's done is he's prepped. So normally Ja'ika's back foot would be about here, yeah? But he knows that he's too far away from Velkhana, so he has to come in, but he doesn't want to give away his forward body position before he's ready. So what he's done is he's pulled that back foot in, prepping so that he can spring forward for the strike, right? And then just watch his feet because they save his life. So there, he's springing forward for that step. Velkhana's still too far away. So he can't do a whole lot. He's prepping his body weight to come forward and spring again. Velkhana interrupts it, but Ja'ika steps back. So pretty, nice and balanced. Okay, he's still a little bit nervous because Velkhana's clearly on the attack. You can see it. Flow through step. So pretty. When we talk about a flow through, that's what it should look like. So he's not sweeping around, which is another way to do it. But when you sweep, you're setting up your hips for either really strong blocking or a future attack. All he's doing is resetting back here, that flow through step, so that he can then return quickly. Pretty flow through. There, he's prepped, and then flow through again. Nice. Didn't land the shot, but just that pretty do. Nice shot. Very good. Pretty footwork. Good. L shape. Very threatening tip. All right. Here we go. Try again. Nope, arms straight now. In the fabric, not dead. Oh, that was a good choice. Good thought process. We'll just watch this go through. Now what do we do? That would have been fun if I'd let you finish it out just to see what you guys would have done with the tangle, but there was no point to it. I mean, in historical fencing, someone would have elbowed someone in the face by that point, so it's fine. Just reset. That was a nice strike. If you'd pushed it just a little further, you would have landed it. Let's watch it again. Nope, one more time. Slow it way down. I like Ja'ika setting that little tippity-tappity tempo, but you don't give into it. He's going to come in, and you're like, nope, no thank you. I'm going to strike. Oh. And again, the flow through footwork saves Ja'ika, that retreat. And return. Pretty. Love it. The feet in this fight make me very happy. Oh, nice shot. Let's see. I don't know who got the kill first, but we're going to watch that again because it's worth watching again. Ready, go. Nope, Jake is saved by his feet. Still prepped. Strike. Doesn't land. Flow through footwork. Ready for that strike again. Backs you off. Good. I like that you don't give up, though. Nice back block with your sword and returning to the fight real quick. Nice block again. And strike and kill. Just fabric. Yep, that's what I thought that call was. Let's watch again. Look at that. I love that full arm extension. Look at that. And then that block right there, back end block, smacks that down. This is how we stay alive. And returning, not giving him a second to breathe. Don't give him a second to breathe. Good again. Look at that. Look at that. Back end block. It's almost like you're punching it just a little bit. I mean, obviously we're not like trying to break each other's equipment, but like you can see your knuckles again right there. I know the film's a little fuzzy, but you can see that your knuckles are engaged straight on the flat of his sword, and you're just punching it clean away. Punch it away. You're prepped. He goes for the gut shot, which is smart on his move and way faster thinking than I would have been. I would have been running for my life, but he goes for the gut shot. But then your return in here is so good. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yep. Beauty shot. Well done. Back end sword work. Keeps us alive. What? Again. Okay. All right. I don't have any comments. Move on. Okay. One shots. These are some. Okay. So some of these little fights that happen like that are like 3 or 4 second kinds of fights. They're instructive, but not for the reason that you think. So basically what it means is that fencing has failed. So it's the art of defense, right? So anytime something happens that fast, someone has failed to defend. It's kind of fun to see, but also like, where was your defense? Why weren't you set up for that initial little snipe, right? I don't have an answer. It happens to me too. Nice retreat. Saved your life. You have a really pretty backhand return. That happened like 3 times just now. Let's do it. We'll watch it again. Slow it down. Block. A very, very pretty backhand return. Down. Return. Don't get the shot, but that's okay. He strikes again. Down, block. Return. So close. Unfortunately, we didn't get it that time. But that thing that you're doing with the backhand return, that's good. That's a good skill. Rude. Left hand. Yep. Okay. All right. Hang on. So the reason why that happens is because you're flapping it down. Okay. So, yep. Rewind. Okay. So instead of hitting it with your true edge, your knuckles, he comes into your center line. So your center line is too open right now. So it's really hard to see in the video, but you kind of have to look at the position of the forward feet here to get it. Okay, so if you want to guard your center line, you have to, more of their body has to be showing than your body. So you need to step out this direction just a little bit because your sword is now closer to the camera, right? And now Ja'ika, it's very, very hard to see, but if you were to draw a line directly across from Ja'ika's feet, you can see how it would go on the inside of Velkhana's leg right there. Like it would, if I stopped drawing a line over the top of Velkhana, it would stop here and he'd be on the inside, which that means that more of Velkhana's body is available to Ja'ika than the other way around. So that you don't want that. So Velkhana needs to step off in this direction just a little bit more when he sets up. Okay. And then you can see as Ja'ika takes advantage of that right here, it's coming in. Okay. So instead of turning your knuckles and facing him that direction towards the trees and hitting his sword with the true edge, we've done exactly what we don't want to do. We've flapped down towards the ground. The very, very foible of your sword has hit his sword at its very strongest, and it's flat. You can even see the bend in the sword. It bends like this because you've given him the weakest part of your sword and it's hit the very strongest part of his sword, and you've flapped down on top of it. Like, you could smack that as hard as you want all day, and the only thing that's going to happen is your arm's going to bounce. And that's why that shot comes in. So we don't flap. We turn that blade and hit it with the true edge. It was a good retreat, though. I love the sauntering and the slow-mo. Makes everything more dramatic. Ta-da! Toe pop? What are we doing with the toe pop, Ja'ika? Back end saved you. Nice strike. Good. Good position on the arm. Very good. Nice and tall. Ooh, you scaly. Nice. Harsh. Again, backhand over the top. That's a good move for you. Don't turn into a one-trick pony, but man, that's a good move for you. Oh, he has it out for your hands. Okay, that is something that's extremely praiseworthy. You don't give up. I love that you don't give up. All right, we'll pause that. Okay, so lots of good things in there. I think a couple huge positives that you should take away from this is that you have the ability to stay present in the fight. You don't overcommit, which is great. Very few tangles were in there. And the tangles that you did get in, you were able to get out of beautifully. So good. I really like that backhand strike. It shows that you've blocked and that you've understood that then once you've blocked and you're secure, you can strike. So again, super brilliant. I love that you're standing much taller now. I love that you're getting more bend in that elbow. You're letting people come in closer. All good things. All good things. So, I mean, even in just a week, that's improved a ton. Fast learner. And everybody should take a minute to admire Ja'ika's forearm. Wow, muscles on that dude. Okay, anyway. Well done, Velkhana. Well done.